Today is Wednesday, March 3rd, and this is we're close. We are a close knit family. It's season 3, episode 11, and we're going to talk about knitting and a bunch of other stuff today. So obviously, Mike isn't here. Mike is in class right now. He's down in the basement studying. And I just realized more and more time has gone by and we haven't checked in. So here I am. I've been doing tons of stuff. Not all of it knitting, but I thought I would share with you some of what I've been up to. If I follow sort of our regular thing, the first thing that we would talk about would be, okay, this is Stormy. You guys haven't met Stormy yet. She may jump up and join me. Oh, okay. She's gonna walk behind, I think. There she is. There's Stormy. So this is Jude's sister. And she's wondering who the heck I'm talking to. She started hanging out upstairs with us now, which is really nice because for many years she wasn't. Anyway, Yarnquisitions. That's where we're at. Yarnquisitions. My order of yarn from Setselhøyvik arrived from Norway, and I'm so happy. I'm kind of concerned there's not going to be enough yarn, but I'm crossing my fingers. So if you remember, this is the cardigan that I'm making for Melissa. And it's just beautiful. So pink morning mist jacket. So the kit arrived with, full instructions. And I was surprised because when the yarn arrived, what I thought was purple was actually brown. So there you go. So what I received was 4 full skeins, five full skeins of the yarn. Her yarn is Ask, as you can see, and it's Norsk ull, which, as best as I can tell, just means wool. And so 100 grams, there's 315 meters per 100 grams. So this is a light DK. Some people might call it a sport weight. Or a heavy fingering or a light DK, I guess. So the colors I received, so I got the brown, this beautiful hot pink, a lime green, and pink. So I know you kind of look at that and you're like, what? But they're amazing together. I just love it. And I love the way this sweater happens. So you start and you knit. You always knit with no more than 2 colors at a time. And then after you've basically finished knitting the cardigan, you go back and you add crochet detail and you duplicate stitch in detail. The other thing that came with the kit was this little baggie full of all the pretties that are attached to it. So there's these beautiful buttons and then sequins, and the sequins are attached with beads. So it's a super cool It's super cool. I love it. So I've been working on nothing but this. Surprise! And actually, I just realized just yesterday I switched to a smaller cord to make things a little bit easier for me. So of course now I'm not gonna be able to spread it out as much. But here I'm gonna end up dropping all my stitches, but it's okay because this is a woolly wool. This one's toothy, so things stay put pretty evenly. So this is the front center with the steek. So the whole thing is knit in the round and steeked at the front, and you knit facings. Now I've just, because the facings kept kind of rolling up and it was driving me nuts, I've just used some double pointed needles to just sort of pin them in place so they would stop bothering me. But that is essentially what the bottom of the sweater will look like. And I think it's such a beautiful finished look. This is my favorite way to do things, as you may remember, is with a facing on the bottom. What else would I like to say about this? It looks like it would be, picking up my stitches, it looks like it might be a complicated knit. It's really not. I guess I say that as someone who's comfortable reading a chart and who's comfortable following directions. I do find, for me, the instructions are really wordy. Like there's almost too much to it. And I know a lot of people like that. They want lots of instruction. But I get lost in the instruction. I'm going along and I'm like, okay, wait, what? And it's too much for me. But so I have to really stop and review a lot. And hi, Storms. The other thing, yeah, so there's a faux seam. There's a faux seam down the sides, which is just a purl stitch. And what was I going to say? Oh, and if you I don't know if you can tell, a little bit you can tell, there is shaping. There's quite a bit of shaping to give sort of the hourglass look. And I've chosen to not do most of that shaping. So I've come in to the number of stitches that are required at the armholes. So in the pattern you would come in and then come out again to the armholes. I've just come in. And I'm making this for Melissa, and she wanted something that's more kind of cropped and hip length as opposed to, or more waist length as opposed to hip length. So what am I trying to say? I'm just really sort of coming in just that little bit at the hip and then coming up. The further I get into it, I'm not as concerned about running out of yarn, because so far these are still my first 2 skeins of yarn that I'm working on, and I'm more than halfway to the armholes, so I think it's doing okay. But doesn't that look purple and pink? But it's brown. It's so funny. Anyway, so that has been most of my knitting, and I'm really enjoying it. Part of why I'm really enjoying it, I think, is because the pattern, the color work pattern is super repetitive, and it's very easy to just, as you go along, to read what was happening on the row before and know where you're at and to do the right thing. But it's not so boring, because every row, because of the front, having this different sort of design right up the front, you do have to stop, you know, at the beginning and end of each row and just sort of go, okay, what am I doing here? So it does give you that little bit of hello, but it's not like constantly checking it. So yeah, really enjoying this. Pink Morning Mist Jacket by Cecil Høyvik in Norway. Love it. Okay, so really for me, that's most of the knitting that I've been doing. And I've been visiting with Stormy a lot. She's spent a lot of time on my lap. The other thing I've done is I have been recovering our cushions for our RV or for our camper. So yeah, that happened. And I've been making candy. And I think I've probably mentioned this before, that this was something I wanted to do. And so now here I am, I'm doing it. So this was what would this have been? This would have been the third attempt, but it's the first attempt I made doing it with all the right bits and pieces. Let's put it that way. So this is a sour watermelon, which, you know, whatever. It's way too sour for my liking. Like, I like sour candy, but it's way too sour. And then I also made, oh, it's not a good example. Then I made a cherry one. I'm trying to find one that kind of looks like cherries. It's so hard. Okay, so then I made cherry ones. Okay, with a little bit of imagination. Let me see if I can do this so you can actually... Is it going to focus? It's not going to focus. Anyway, so it's got kind of a little picture of a cherry in it. Kind of. No. Anyway, so I've got bags and bags of this candy now. And I'm going to make more. I think, well, I've had a request to make lemon. Robin asked me to make lemon, so that'll be my next one. But I do need an extra set of hands when I'm making the candy. So I have to wait until there's someone around who can help me. Yep. Oh, and I finished Ursa. There we go. I finished my Ursa. So there it is. Made out of the Louisa Harding, what the heck? The Grace silk and wool. It's 50-50 silk and wool. And oh my gosh, I love, first off, like, it doesn't even feel it. If I didn't know this was silk and wool, I would think it was acrylic. It is so soft. What do I want to say about this? Because this is the third time I've made an Ursa, there were places where I knew what kind of modifications I wanted to make. So I did those, but I just love, like, the way it drapes. And it's not a super, like, it's not hot. So it's very comfortable and very, very nice to wear. I think, as far as catching you up on what's going on with the close-knit family, that's probably about it. I think I mentioned I was shutting down my business. There's my fingernails. Gross. And it's funny. I'm struggling to get used to not having fingernails. My typing on my phone and stuff is all out of whack, and I can't get into my my daily meds come like bubble wrapped, or anyway. and I can't get into them, and it's like, I need my fingernails back. And even just getting my phone out of the case to do this, I couldn't do it without my fingernails. So, I mean, I did, obviously, but it was a struggle. So I hope you're all doing well. We had really cold weather like everyone else did. And then it got super warm, and it's remarkable how quickly our snow melted. We still got snow around, don't get me wrong, but the most of it is gone. Melissa's in school, Michael's in school, Lloyd's working, you met Stormy, Jude's around. I guess that's it for us. So, with that in mind, love it if you would like, comment, let me know what you're up to, subscribe, and as always, keep your knitting close and your family closer. Bye.